My name is Matt Soar. I'm an Associate Professor of Communication Studies here at Concordia, and I'm currently the BA Programs Director. In terms of the curriculum that we have in the department, it's inevitably in some senses a reflection of what faculty know, but of course it's also a reflection on what's going on out there in the world in terms of developments, whether they're cultural, political, social developments, technological developments. So inevitably that is reflected in the kinds of production courses we teach too, which make up a substantial part of the curriculum in the department. It's very hard to say in terms of intermediate what's going to happen next year, let alone next week, because we try as best as we can to reflect some very rapid changes that are going on. There are other broader changes. If we look at the video production stream, for instance, it used to be a television production stream, and it became video, which reflected again the skills and expertise in the department, but also where we wanted to take those production streams. Unfortunately, we lost film last year. It was becoming unsustainable in terms of the cost involved in developing film stock and getting it back as digitized files. I think film is very present, though, in terms of the ethos of the department. I try to introduce it whenever I can into my intermediate classes, like in doing 16mm anajams. I've got a student right now who is taking 35mm blank leader and painting onto it, and then she's going to be projecting that. So we look forwards, we look backwards, we try to take account of residual media, we try to take account of emergent media, we certainly deal with dominant media. Curriculum change can be quite slow, but that gives us the room to reflect on more substantive changes that are happening out there. We're going through curriculum changes right now, and we'll certainly have to take account of some of those changes. So there's no really hard and fast rules or recipes that I can give you right now in terms of what's going to happen next. I don't think any of us can. I do hear from former intermediate students from time to time. They're often doing really, really interesting work. They might be actually working in the fine arts. They may be working in graphic design or web design. They may be working for advertising agencies in the arts in some capacity, whether it's in radio or television or new media. But I think that the fundamentals that we really stress in the stream around the ideas and process and affordances really serve the students well, even if they go on to do things that may not actually involve production directly at all. I think it's really important that the students make media in novel kinds of ways, because if they're in a future profession or a future line of work where they have to work with creatives, with people who are making media, whether it's photographers or animators or performance artists, that they, having made work themselves in school, they have a vocabulary, they have a way of talking about creative work, which I think is really, really good, and a really, really kind of responsible and productive way to work with other kinds of creative people. If I think about a model student, if there is such a one in Intermedia, it's probably the same as it is in any class. It's about application. It's about taking to heart the issues and ideas, the theories, the technologies that we're exploring, doing the best work possible within the guidelines that we give, showing initiative whenever that's possible too, whether that's technical initiative or creative initiative, and really making the most of the opportunities that we're presenting. I say to the students often at the beginning of the year that this isn't a rehearsal. It's a kind of cheesy thing to say, but it really isn't. It's having the opportunity to be in university in an established, reputable program, working with some really, really interesting people in terms of teachers, but also in terms of the TAs and the other students and the staff, and all the different kinds of courses that we offer. Is don't blow it, make the most of the opportunity, throw yourself into it heart and soul, and we as instructors will recognize that in terms of progress, in terms of ideas, in terms of application, as students move through the program. We've been at it a long time, and we recognize those qualities.
This is your student Leonardo. Yeah, Leonardo. So one of the hard-hitting questions that all students want to know is, now that you've taught both sections 1 and 2, which classroom do you like better?
I like them both.
It doesn't say Gina, but
Yeah.
In the edit, it'll be
I love all the intermediate students who come through the program, and this is the very first year we've had 2 sections, so it's all good news. And I've seen some I've been fortunate enough to teach a few classes in both sections, and I've seen some amazing work going on. So Gina and I are both really pleased with the outcomes.